Dear students, today we will understand about amino acids and its classification. So before we begin what amino acids are, let's first understand what proteins are. Proteins are one of the essential nutrients which is required by our body, and it's found from the number of the sources like eggs, dairy products, seafood, meat, cereals and nuts. Regardless of the source of the protein which we are consuming in our diet, this protein is broken down into its simpler form and it forms a new protein. These proteins do everything from fighting infection to helping cell division. So basically what this protein is made up of? This protein is made up of chain of amino acids which are linked together by the peptide bonds and they form a string of the peats. This string of the peats is reformed to give a shape to the protein, and this protein is when taken into the diet, when it goes into the body, it is further broken down into the individual amino acids. This is the amino acid which makes up the protein. So we can say amino acids are the building block of the proteins, or these are the monomers of the proteins. Let's understand the structure of the amino acid. So, in order to understand the structure of the amino acid, which we say are the derivatives of the methane, methane is one of the organic compound which has one central carbon associated with 4 hydrogens. This central carbon is also known as alpha carbon. When one of the hydrogen of this methane is replaced by amine group, which is NH2 group, we can say this is the alpha amino group because it is attached to the alpha carbon, and its second hydrogen, when it is replaced by the carboxyl group, we can say it as alpha carboxylic group. The third hydrogen of the methane is replaced by the side chain. This side chain can be alkyl group, any of the alkyl group. And the fourth hydrogen here remains the same. Once the structure which has one alpha amino group, one alpha carbonyl group, one hydrogen and one side chain, we call it as amino acid. The name is given because it contains amino group and it contains acidic group as well. This is the amino group and this is the acidic group. Hence, it's known as the amino acid. This carbon here, alpha carbon, this is the central carbon. We can also say it is asymmetric carbon. Why asymmetric? Because it has 4 different groups. The first group here is alpha amino group. The second group here is carboxyl group. The third group here is hydrogen group. And the fourth group here is the alkyl chain attached. This side chain which is attached to the amino acid is variable, and because of this variable nature of the side chain, it changes the structure, function and properties of the amino acid. For example, if the side chain here is simply one hydrogen which is not any alkyl group, this is one of the simpler amino acid named as glycine. This side chain can be complex as well. Let's take another example. Like if the side chain is methane, this is a new amino acid, alanine. Hence, you can observe here the backbone of the amino acid is not changing at all. Only is the side chain which changes and simply form a new amino acid. Let's consider another example. Serine, where the side chain is simply CH2OH. Now you see, once the side chain is changed, regardless of any other backbone thing, it simply modifies the properties and changes the structure of the amino acid. So in amino acid, this alpha amino group, this alpha carboxylic group and this hydrogen, these 3 things remain common to each amino acid except the R group, which is distinctive to each amino acid. Now let's move to the classification of amino acid. Classification: amino acids can be classified based on number of factors. For example, we can classify them based on the structure of the side chain. If the side chain is aliphatic, they come under the aliphatic chain amino acids. The structure can be further divided into the aromatic side chain because the side chain can be aromatic as well, or the side chain can have the amino group. The next type of the classification is based on polarity. Polarity means having any charge or it can be uncharged. The third classification is based on the nutritional requirement of the body. Some amino acids are necessary for the body and some not. So for this, amino acids can be classified as essential or they can be classified as non-essential amino acids. And the last one is based on the metabolic fate. Metabolic fate defines as to which product amino acids converts or it is metabolized into. Let's discuss each type of the amino acid into detail, and we are going to start with the structural classification, and the first one we will discuss the aliphatic side chain. In the aliphatic side chain, the first two simple amino acids which we are talking about are glycine, where the side chain is simply the hydrogen, and alanine, where the side chain is simply the methyl group. Amino acids can be represented into the three-letter codes or they can be represented by the one-letter code. For example, for the glycine, three-letter code is GLY and one-letter code is G. And for alanine, three-letter code is ALA and one-letter code is A. We also have the branched amino acids where the side chain is branched in place of the not similar to the simple amino acids. Here we have three examples. The first one is valine where you can see the side chain is branched. Here we can see the methyl group is further branched into two methyl groups. Another example we have is leucine where we can see that ethyl group here is further divided into the two methyl group. So this is again the branched side chain. The next example we have is isoleucine. Here you can see because this is in the iso position, so we call it isoleucine. It's isopropyl, so we call it as isoleucine. There is a tip. In order to memorize it, we can simply use the word will. V is valine, I is isoleucine and L is leucine. This can help to memorize which amino acids fall under the branched amino acids. Remembering amino acids is not that difficult. Just we need to understand the basic structure and then what is the side group of this amino acid. Once we understand is the side group the branched one or it is the simple one or any other else, it simply becomes easy to memorize the structure of the each amino acid. The third type we have is OH group containing amino acids. Now the name suggests OH group containing. It means the side chain of the amino acid must contain the OH group. In this category, the example we have is tyrosine. Here you can see in the tyrosine, in the side chain we have OH group. Now this structure is not aliphatic. This is actually one of the aromatic amino acids which have OH group. So this is not the aliphatic side chain, this is aromatic side chain, but it has OH group. The next example we have serine. Serine is aliphatic, the side chain is here, is aliphatic and it also has OH group in it. The third example we have is threonine. Here in the threonine, again you can see in the side chain we have the OH group. This OH group in the side chain increases the polarity or makes it simply polar. In order to memorize, there is a useful tip for you. You can memorize it using a phrase, oh, Thiasaris thread. O is basically OH containing amino acid. Thi is tyrosine, sari is serine, and thread is threonine. So just memorizing this one phrase, O Thiasaris phrase, you can easily memorize which of the amino acids are OH containing amino acids. The next category we have is sulfur containing amino acids. Now the name suggests sulfur containing. It means the side chain must have sulfur group in it. And here we have the example of cysteine. You can see here in the side chain, the highlighted part, sulfur is present in the side chain. Another example we have is methionine, where again you can see in the side chain sulfur is present. So those amino acids which have sulfur in their side chain are classified under the category of sulfur containing amino acids. One thing to notice here, in the previous classes we have discussed about the ether linkage, and we said ether is the one where two alkyl groups are attached together with one oxygen. We call it as an ether group, or we call it as an ether linkage. There is another linkage which is thioether. Why we call it thio? Thio means sulfur. Thioether, since the linkage is ether, here the two alkyl groups are joined together with the sulfur in place of the oxygen. So we call it as a thioether. Thio means which represents sulfur and the linkage is similar to ether. This is thioether linkage or thioether group. You can notice here in methionine the linkage here is thioether linkage. The next class we have is of the acidic amino acids. Now the name suggests acidic, it means the side chain must contain acid in it. We have two amino acids under this class. First one is glutamate. Here you can see in the side chain it has acidic group in it. Another example we have aspartate. Again you can see in the side chain we have this acidic group. This is different than the backbone. Notice here the backbone is not disturbed at all. It is intact here, containing the carboxylic group, amine group and hydrogen. The change is in side chain only. So once you have two carboxyl group in the amino acid, you can easily identify that this is the acidic amino acids. The next class we have is amide group containing amino acids. Amide group means it must have one amide group in it. We have two examples again under this. One is glutamine. You can see in the structure here, in the side chain it has one amide group here. And in the asparagine, again in the side chain you can see here this one amide group. So if the amide group is present in the side chain, we can say these are the amide containing amino acids. The next class we have under aliphatic amino acids is basic amino acids. Now the basic suggests here, it means the side chain of these amino acids is quite basic in the nature. Here we have three examples. First one is the lysine. You can see here base, it has the charge. This side chain of the lysine is very basic in the nature. For this reason, this is classified as basic amino acid. The next example we have is arginine. Again, you can notice here the side chain of this arginine has more positive charge, and which makes it basic in the nature. The third example we have histidine. Histidine, again you can see it has the probability to have the more charge here, and hence this falls under the category of basic amino acids. Now the next class under the structural amino acid is aromatic amino acids. Aromatic suggests means the side chain must have the aromatic ring in that, and here mostly we have studied about the heterocyclic rings. In the phenylalanine we have one heterocyclic ring, which is the benzene ring, or in other words we can say it has the phenyl side chain. The next example we have under aromatic is tyrosine. This tyrosine is one of the OH containing amino acid, but here you can see this side chain here is the phenol side chain. This is again one of the heterocyclic ring. So these are the two amino acids, phenylalanine and tyrosine, which have heterocyclic ring in them. Now here I am going to discuss there are some amino acids which do not have heterocyclic ring in that, but they are still aromatic in the nature. Like tryptophan, here you can see in the tryptophan the side chain does not have any heterocyclic ring, but it still have the aromatic ring, and this ring is the indole ring. Histidine. Histidine is one of the basic amino acids, but it is also under the aromatic amino acids. The side chain is not heterocyclic, but the side chain has the imidazole group, which is again one of the aromatic group. Hence, this histidine is known as aromatic amino acid. In the structural one, we have one exceptional case, that is amino acid. Why we call it amino? Because of the group in it. We have only single example in amino acids, and that is proline. Proline is one of the exceptional amino acid where the nitrogen of the backbone is part of the ring. Here you can see this highlighted part is the side chain. This carboxyl group is the alpha carboxyl group, and this NH2 is the alpha amine group. This NH2 in the previous all structures was not the part of the ring. It is a backbone of the amino acid. But proline is the only amino acid where nitrogen of the backbone is part of the ring here. And this ring which is formed here, this ring is known as the pyrrolidine ring. So proline have the pyrrolidine ring and it is known as the amino acid. Now we are done with the structural classification, let's further understand the classification of the amino acids based on the polarity. In the polarity, amino acids can be polar, which can be hydrophilic, or they can have the charge on them, and they can also be non-polar, which can be more hydrophobic in the nature. Let's understand first polar amino acids. In the polar amino acids can be charged or they can be uncharged. If they are charged amino acids, they can be positive or the charge can be negative. Now let's understand. If the charge is negative, the nature of that amino acid would be acidic because it has one more acidic group which gives it the negative charge. And the example we have is glutamate and aspartate. In the charged one, the charge can be positive one as well. So if you remember our basic amino acids, the side chain is basic and the side chain have the positive charge there. So basic amino acids are the positive charge polar amino acids like arginine, lysine and histidine. Polar amino acids, not necessary that all the time they do possess charge. Sometimes they are uncharged as well, but they are polar in nature because the charge is cancelled because either the side chain, the charge is balanced, or like the OH group containing here, serine, threonine, tyrosine, these have OH group in it, and the presence of the OH group make them polar in nature. Though overall they do not have any charge, but still they have the polar nature. Asparagine and glutamine, they have amine group there in the side chain, and that amine group gives them the positive charge here. Because of that, but the charge is overall balanced. Hence, the amino acid is uncharged, but the nature is polar but these amino acids are polar in nature. Same the case is with the cysteine. In the cysteine, there is no charge, but this amino acid is polar in nature. Let's talk about the non-polar amino acids. Non-polar amino acids are hydrophobic in the nature. They are useful or they can make the van der Waals interactions. In this category, we have aromatic amino acids like phenylalanine and tryptophan. Apart from that, glycine, alanine, proline, valine, leucine, isoleucine and methionine are all non-polar amino acids. The next classification which we are going to discuss is based on the nutritional requirement of the body. Sometimes your body can synthesize and sometimes your body cannot synthesize. So those amino acids which are necessary for our body but our body cannot synthesize them. So it becomes necessary to consume them in the diet. These amino acids are known as essential amino acids. Those amino acids which our body can easily synthesize in the required amount, we do not need to consume them in the diet. And these amino acids are known as non-essential amino acids. Now the thing is here, semi-essential, which is in between of the essential and non-essential, or we can say conditionally essential. These are those amino acids which the body needs to be consumed under certain circumstances like pregnancy or an infant baby is there. So different needs are there in that because in infants some amino acids are not synthesized at that moment. So it becomes necessary to consume them in the diet. Let's discuss each one by one. Let's talk about the essential amino acids. In the essential one, there are 9 amino acids here which we need to consume because our body needs them to synthesize the proteins. So there is a phrase, "Met will fly." This can help you to memorize these 9 amino acids where M is your methionine, A is arginine, T is threonine, this T is tryptophan, this V is valine, I is isoleucine, L is leucine, this PH is your phenylalanine and this LY is the lysine. From the essential one, arginine is sometimes classified into the semi-essential because a normal body, because infant cannot synthesize it, but our body can synthesize. So even in the pregnancy condition, your body needs more arginine. So that should be provided into the diet. For this reason, arginine is into the essentials and into the semi-essentials one, whereas histidine is the semi-essential one. The rest of the 10 amino acids from the 20 standard amino acids are the non-essential one because your body can easily synthesize them like alanine, aspartate, asparagine, glutamate, serine, cysteine, glutamine, glycine and so on. Here if you have noticed, I have written these two additional names, selenocysteine and pyrrolysine. These are 2 new amino acids which have been discovered and our body is able to synthesize them. Hence, these are kept into the non-essential amino acids. The details for these 2 amino acids I will discuss later. The last classification we have is based on the metabolic fate. What this metabolic fate is? Metabolic fate is where your amino acids is metabolized into the new compounds. So, if amino acid is metabolized into the glucose or the amino acids are the precursors to form the glucose and glycogen, they are classified as glycogenic amino acids. And if the amino acid is converted into the fat or into the ketone bodies, then it is classified as ketogenic amino acids. There are certain amino acids which are ketogenic in nature and some of the amino acids are glucogenic in the nature. But there are few examples which are both, means which are ketogenic and glycogenic as well. If you are talking about the ketogenic amino acid, so far there are only two examples we have. One is leucine and another one is lysine. Here you can see, since both are starting with the L, you can say these are the L amino acids. In the second class, where both amino acids have the both nature, they are ketogenic and glucogenic in the nature, we have four examples here like phenylalanine, isoleucine, tryptophan and tyrosine. You can easily memorize it with a word PIT, which represents here the four specified amino acids which are precursor for ketogenic and glucogenic products. Rest of the amino acids which are left from the 20 standard amino acids are all glucogenic in the nature. Now let's talk about the new amino acids which are recently discovered apart from the 20 amino acids which are already utilized into the protein synthesis. These two new amino acids which are described are selenocysteine, which has been classified as 21st amino acid, and pyrrolysine, which has been classified as 22nd amino acid. Selenocysteine, the three-letter code for the selenocysteine is SEC and the one-letter code for the selenocysteine is U. Selenocysteine actually is found at the active sites of the several enzymes. For example, thyrodoxine reductase, glutathione peroxidase. So with these enzymes, selenocysteine is always found at the active site. Let's understand the structure. Here if you notice, in the cysteine, you have sulfur in the structure, whereas in the selenocysteine, you have selenium here in the structure. So instead of the sulfur, we have selenium here, which makes it selenocysteine, and our body can easily make it from the cysteine. Hence, this is one of the non-essential amino acids. The next one we have the pyrrolysine. Pyrrolysine, again, it can be classified or it can be represented with three-letter code and one-letter code. If you see the structure is similar to lysine, but the difference is here in the side chain. In the lysine, there is no ring, but in pyrrolysine, it has a pyrrole ring here. For this reason, this is the pyrrolysine, and your body can easily convert lysine into pyrrolysine. There are few points which you should remember from this lecture. The first one is glycine, which does not contain any of the side chain, because in glycine there is only one hydrogen. Hence there is no side chain. This is one of the simplest amino acid. Proline. This is one of the exceptional amino acid in which nitrogen is the part of the ring instead of the backbone. Each amino acid has one amine group at one end and one acidic group on the other hand, along with the one distinctive side chain for the each amino acid. The backbone for the each amino acid is same except the side chain which differs from one amino acid to the next one. All of the 20 standard amino acids except glycine are of the L configuration. The material in this lecture is taken from the number of the books which are stated here. If you would like to go for the further details, please refer these books. Keep watching for the more videos.